Hey, hello everyone. Hope you're all enjoying the sessions today. I'm absolutely loving them. So today I'm going to present you one of the core line concepts and strategies behind the success of Spinta Digital and its clients on how we are helping our clients grow. So I'm going to today talk about how building your network and their trust factor is important to winning high value business. So let me just share my screen now. There you go. And yeah, let me just present it. So it's about how building your network and the trust factor is important to win high value business. So today, what is important is you to be able to build your network with your target audience, and at the same time, how do you show yourself as credible, as authoritative, and as an expert in your subject matter to your target audience. So that's what we are going to talk about today. And so, you know this person, right? He's Robert Kiyosaki. He's the one of the most famous authors of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So what he says is the richest people in the world go and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. So what do you mean? What does he mean by that? Saying like, say anybody, so we at Spinta Digital kind of follow that protocol, and we make sure that we follow this to the T for our clients. So we help our clients not just make the noise, but make the right noise with the right audience and help them to grow their network, help them to make them more credible, more, show their expertise, demonstrate their social proof, etc., to make sure that they have a right network with them. So now, how do you find this network? How do you find this right network? Where do you go and search for the right audience? How do you know who is the right target audience for you? So see, there are a lot of business databases that you can use, right? So do you know which is the world's number one business database? There's a lot of business databases such as ZoomInfo, Discovery.org, which recently got acquired by them, and so many more. Like, how do you know which is the right business database for you? Or how do you know which is the right network for you? So it's none other than LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has been extremely helpful for us in terms of building our business, building our connections, building our network, showing our thought leadership, showing our expertise in the field that we are in to our target market. And we've been using LinkedIn predominantly very extensively. So if you talk about our company, we generate like most of the business, like 75 to 80% of business is generated through LinkedIn, or at least the first point of contact is through LinkedIn. And then we obviously use certain things like email automation, nurturing mails, and kind of advertisements, etc., to reach out to more people. But our platform that we really trust on and we really focus on is LinkedIn. And so LinkedIn presents is untapped business opportunity for business owners. So LinkedIn has a lot of opportunities, and we want to make sure that you don't miss out on this opportunity just because you don't know how to leverage LinkedIn. I see a lot of people out there; they are still not really active on LinkedIn. Many people don't have a profile, and people who do have a profile are not really active on LinkedIn. And even people who are active, they're not really using the right strategies to be able to kind of build their network in the right way. So that's what we are going to talk about today. The whole takeaway is about how to use leverage, how to use LinkedIn and leverage that to kind of position yourself in a better way to your target market. So we are here basically going to talk about trust factors. So how do you amplify your authority, credibility, and expertise for your target market? So LinkedIn is a great platform for that. And your personal profile, people connect with people. Businesses don't do business with businesses. People do business with people. So we need to make sure that your profile is extremely optimized. You show a lot of authority in terms of the kind of content that you post, in terms of the kind of value that you provide to your target audience, your connections, etc. You need to also show a lot of credibility that can be shown using your LinkedIn profile, where there's multiple options where you can actually optimize your profile. You can actually write a lot about what you've done in the past, how you've helped your clients. You can also you can also get a lot of recommendations from LinkedIn, from your peers, from people who you have worked with. And that's how you build your authority to your target market. So I'm going to today talk about 3 profit maximizers in LinkedIn. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is how do you get found on LinkedIn. There are a lot of people searching for other people on LinkedIn or services on LinkedIn. So how do you get found? The second is how do you hyper target your clients? Like LinkedIn provides a great platform to be able to target your audience. Like, say for example, if you want to look at it, it gives you really, there's no other platform that has this ability to define your B2B target audience in a way that LinkedIn can do. So say for instance, you're looking for a person who's into function, working in a function of business development at a pharmaceutical company with a size of 500 to 1,000 people. headcount, in a particular geography. So LinkedIn is the only way where you can find them. Like you cannot target them based on these on either Google or Facebook or anything, any other social channel. So we need to make sure that we are identifying these target audience initially, and then it's about how do you connect with them and how do you build their trust. How do you build trust? So 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 if you see about it, like even if you're doing like your promotions on multiple channels, including your Google ads or emails, or even if you get some direct inquiries through your optimizations of your websites, still 67% of B2B buyers will definitely check your LinkedIn profile to know who they are working with. So that's become like an identity for people today, and especially people who are serving business to business customers. So we want to make sure that your profile is up there and with the right information, the kind of information that would break a lot of beliefs for your customers, people who are looking in terms of like, there's the customers will have like many questions that they want to ask. There's a lot of questions that run into their mind, and you need to kind of, so am I going to the right person? Yes, because he's credible. Has he done this before? Yes, he's worked on all these in the past. Has he got testimonials? Yes, he's got amazing recommendations in his profile. So this is the kind of things that you need to answer each of the queries that they might have on your LinkedIn profile, so that really helps your sales process to kind of expedite and increases your chances of getting that particular business. So here I'm just going to talk about what are the things that you can do with your LinkedIn profile. Let's just start with the basic thing of your profile photo. So there are simple things, even your LinkedIn profile photo matters or not. Like you cannot have a group photo or a party photo on LinkedIn being a professional network. So you really need to make it like a passport format. You need to have an appropriate dress for that. You should have a neutral PG background, and most importantly, look into the camera, and yeah, smiling is something very important, so that you have a very pleasant warm welcome to your connections. And there's this nice website called photofiller.com. I'm not sure whether you've seen it already. So it's actually free to use. So it's basically a website where you can just upload a few photos of yourself, and there's a lot of audience out there, and they kind of like and comment on your photos, so you can know like which kind of photo works better with you or resonates better with you. So it's just a good try to have. So you can just check that out. It's photofeeler.com. And it's about, like, as I told before, like how do you amplify your authority? Like you are a person who's got a lot of tremendous experience on what you do, and you offer amazing services to your clients and target market. So how do you show that to people? How do you amplify that? So basically in LinkedIn, LinkedIn is one of the best platforms for promoting yourself, also promoting content. It's like how Facebook used to be like 6-7 years back. Like today Facebook is obviously much more rigid in terms of your organic reach, but LinkedIn is something like where your organic reach is one of the best in terms of content marketing. So you need to amplify authority there. So you can start writing articles on LinkedIn. Make sure that you don't give a blog link. I'll tell you why later, but you can start writing articles, post regularly. The other things you can do is like start commenting on people's posts. So say for example, if you write a post and if somebody comments on that, there's a higher chance that you're going to see the person who's commented on your post rather than seeing his post on its own. So it's always make sure that you go and comment on your target audience post. And when I mean comment, always put like meaningful comments, like not just like saying yes or done or okay or good. Just make it something of value that you can add into it. And also use a lot of social proof, like on your LinkedIn recommendations. So you telling you're good is one thing, but others telling that you're good totally changes the game. So you need to make sure that you get a lot of recommendation, be it from your peers, be it from the clients you've worked with, be it from somebody you've worked under. So it just create that social proof around you, so that that kind of leverages the value and people know who they are talking to. And again, when you're searching for their ideal target audience, just narrow them down using LinkedIn search. You can also use a premier LinkedIn Sales Navigator account, which is really good. I would highly recommend that. So you can actually, as I told you earlier, you have a lot of options where you can really fine tune the target audience that you're looking at. Like who are they? Like who are the exact target audience that I want to go behind, or who do I really want to serve to? So you can start by visiting their profile. So when you visit their profiles, they know who are the people who visited their profiles. So there's a chance where they would see you. You should engage with their posts and add value, as mentioned before. Like you just don't go and type random stuff, but just actually type something that provides value. So you need to read their article, know more about them, do some research about the person you're talking about, and do that research and know what they are standing for, and start adding value to that, like in terms of comments. You should also join various groups and where your target audience exists. So say for example, if you're targeting security professionals, chief security officers, for example, there's a separate group for that. If you're targeting CEOs, CXOs, architects, no matter what you're targeting, there are always groups out there. So you need to go and get yourself accustomed to the group, join the group and start providing value. Don't start selling yet. Just start providing value and understand their viewpoints and then leave meaningful comments. So that is when you need to connect, because what happens with LinkedIn is like, it's about how you connect with people. So there are two options. One, you can just go randomly and go use some automation tool and start connecting with a number of people without a proper agenda. Or you can actually warm the leads up and select your target audience and then start commenting on their posts and viewing their profile and then connecting with them. So the second option is the best option, though the first option does work at times, but second option is the best option, especially when you have a finite target audience that you have in mind and when you have niche down on your target audience. So rather than just randomly connecting with somebody, it's always better to kind of warm them up with the posts that you've given or the comments that you've given and then start connecting with them. Because you need to remember one thing, like LinkedIn is quite strict in terms of the quality of the site that it wants to maintain. And the more the connections you give and more you're marked as spam, the lesser the chance, the higher the chance that you have your LinkedIn account to be even banned. So you need to really take care of that. LinkedIn does give you a warning, but more than that, you'll not be able to connect to any new people. And if you keep continuing that, then your LinkedIn account might even be banned. So you need to make sure that you're connecting with the right people at the right time that you know. So this is again about conversation. So once you connect with a person, you need to start conversing with them. So as Ryan Dice, who's a founder of Digital Marketer, one of the top companies in the world, which provides a lot of advice and strategy sessions on digital marketing and the various ways, and they do an amazing job. So what Ryan said was like conversations are the new lead. So what do you mean by lead? Like there's a lot of people talking about, do you generate leads? How many leads are you generating? So what are these leads actually? These could be people who just fill your form. These could be people who just fill your, get into you as a subscriber. But the actual leads these days are people who are actually starting conversations with you. So how do you create more conversations? So it's like this. Even I get a lot of LinkedIn messages. Like as soon as you connect with some person, bam, you get a message saying like, hey, I'm founder of this, and I do all these services, which is a pretty long list actually. They do this, they do that, they do this, and they actually expect you to go and read everything that they do. And then finally they'll tell you like, okay, if you need these services, contact us. I'm like, okay, so now you've told everything about this. Why do I have to spend the time on reading the entire thing? There's absolutely nothing in that for me. You just opened a connection with me and just stuffing up information that I might not need. So you basically can't do that. It's almost going to a networking event and kind of directly going to a person and saying hi and giving a complete portfolio about yourself and then asking them for their business. So people don't do that, right? So you need to know that, like, first of all, especially when you're connecting people on LinkedIn or in general, people need to know you, and then people need to like you, and then they need to trust you. That is when you'll start generating business. So you need to focus on building the relationships. So you can't just start conversations where you're just kind of telling everything about you. It should always be about them and what is in it for them. So it's about like, how do you create those soft touch points? So excuse me, inviting people for webinars are a great way. Giving them ebooks that are valuable to them. Again, it's not about some ebook you write and you just stuff it up. It should be something that is very related to them and to their niche. So that is when they will be interested in kind of, okay, this is something that is of interest to me. Let me just go and download it. So it goes to a landing page. They fill in their data with their email ID, and then you give them the ebook, and then you have their email ID, which is basically your list. You're increasing your list, and you start creating email nurturing campaigns, which is around that ebook, and keep providing value, more and more value, so that you start building that relationship and the trust that you have. And yeah, as I said, people do business with people that they know initially, they like, and then they trust. So it's about creating the visibility first. First of all, how do you become visible to people? Like, so that's where your get found comes, like, search, LinkedIn search optimization. So LinkedIn is a search engine on its own. So make sure that you put some keywords, and especially even in the profile, you cannot put simply saying like founder and CEO. So because we see a lot of profiles where they've just put founder and CEO. You should actually put saying like that service that you offer. Say for example, I'm an architect and I help building plans, or I'm a marketer who helps companies grow their business. So when you write like that, people, or I'm into digital marketing or funnel building, or email marketing, anything of that sort. So that is when people would know exactly what you do. And because, say, for example, if somebody is searching, say, digital marketing, digital marketer or marketing consultant or anything of that sort, or a brand consultant or anything of that sort, there's a high chance that you would come on top. And these are people who are actively looking for a marketing or a brand consultant. So if I had put just saying like founder and CEO, if they put founder and CEO, you'll get a founder and CEO of a marketing organization, of a financial organization, of any other company. Like, it could be an IT company, a web development company, it could be any company. So it's not really defining you. The founder and CEO does not really define you, or does not really define the search engine optimization. So you need to make sure that you put exactly what is that you have an offer. So the statement should go like, I help my target audience do this or achieve this by doing this, or something of that sort. So that is when your search engines pick you up. So you need to make sure that you have that. So again, building your authority is about posting quality content. It's not about even how many posts you make or how many posts you do. It's about how to the kind of quality of content that you want to give, and how are you creating that authority. It's not just about, again, as I said before, not about posting. It's also about reacting to other people's posts, kind of commenting on them and kind of giving value to them. And only after you create that visibility and authority, it is only after that that you can even start thinking about profitability. So a lot of people directly jump on LinkedIn or any other channel for that matter, and they just go and start bombarding people with messages and expect profitability immediately. So that is not something that would work out these days. You need to build your visibility, then your authority, and then you go into profitability. So this is about giving value. So how do you keep giving value? You know that signature, right? This is from Gary Vee, one of the people I really adore and I follow. He's made his entire life and living out of providing value to people, amazing value. So he says that always give value, keep giving value, give value, and then ask for business. So it's all about how do you give. So once you start giving value to people, they start seeing you as an authority. They start seeing you as somebody credible. They start seeing you as a thought leader, and that is when they are ready to do business with you. And that's the time when you need to ask for business. So that's something that is very important. We always believe that it's all about providing value rather than pushing something into a customer, or pushing some service into a customer that they might not be ready for, or they have 1,000 options, right? They have a million options actually. So why should they give it to you compared to your competitor? So it's because you would have provided value and proved something. Because see, when you're actually messaging somebody initially itself and asking them for something, how the brain works is like it always says no. It's you're trying to say no. So basically, if somebody asks you like saying, okay, this is the service I offer, would you like me to do it? The first reaction that comes in your mind is no. So how do you break that? So you need to create like something called as micro commitments. That's in itself is a big topic. Probably in another day I'll go through it. But yeah, you need to go into get micro commitments from people. Okay, download an ebook, got a list. Okay, save smooth connection. Okay, have a nice post, have a add value in terms of comments. So keep doing micro commitments where they keep seeing you more often. So again, this is about, just to sum it up, it's about starting the conversation. So make sure that you start the conversation in the right way. So an example could be like, hey, Mike, I saw your recent blog and on this particular topic, and it was really amazing the viewpoint you had on this, and it would be, it was really nice, something like that. Or it could be like, hey, why don't you check out this ebook? I thought this ebook has been, he's been really appreciated by people in your niche, and I thought this could be of value. This could add value to you. Why don't you just check out this ebook on this particular topic? Or it could be about like, hey, we are doing this webinar, and why don't you just register for this webinar? It's got amazing takeaways of from of this and this, which I believe could help your business. Now, coming to this, it does not have to be your own webinar, or it does not have to be your own stuff or own content that you create all the time. It can also be other valuable things that you see in the market out there. Say for example, there's something happening that your target audience would be interested in, and that they would be interested in. As long as it's not from your competitor, you can always guide them. Like, what, I checked out this. I just came across this webinar that's happening in another couple of days' time, and I believe this will be ideal for you. So I just thought about you, and I thought I could let you know about this so that you can take a look at it and see how it helps you, or something of that sort. So basically show the customers that you care about them and that you have some value that you want to give to them. It's not about just selling to them. It's again this whole concept of LinkedIn, or the entire thing I'm talking about, is called as social selling. So it's always social first and selling next. But what many people do is they just start selling, and there's just no point. There's just no scope of getting social, after you start selling from the start point. So we need to make sure that it is that. And the next thing is, once you start a conversation, it's about developing relationships. So how do you start conversing on more things, ideal topics? So once you connect with them, then they post something, you again go and add value, then probably send them another webinar, send them another invite. That's how you keep developing relationships, by providing value. And at the same time, you need to demonstrate yourself as a thought leader. So make sure that you use LinkedIn's features like articles, And one more thing, I just wanted to give a quick point on articles. Whenever you post an article, make sure that you don't give any external links to your blogs or anything, because none of the platforms like LinkedIn, or for that matter, any platform, does not like people going out of their platform. Like, you have your website and you make money out of, you basically make money with the fact that there are so many people spending time on your website. So you don't really want people to give external links where you click and go to a different website and leaving their website. So that does not make it's not in their plan. They do not give that much weightage to any post or any article that gives a link to an external site. So try and post your blog itself on your LinkedIn article and start posting about it and give the link to your LinkedIn article. So make sure that you don't really give posts that go out. And even if you have to give like your ebooks or anything of that sort, or your webinar registration links, just make sure that you give it in the comment and you just mention it in the post, saying like, hey, the comment is on the link or something of that sort. So that would actually help you. It's just a quick thought that I suddenly got. So again, coming back to this, demonstrating your thought leadership is extremely important. So post a lot of content, post a lot of valuable content, and again, keep adding value. This is the way that you kind of build trust with your clients, with your potential audiences. And once you have their email ID, you can do an omni-channel approach where you start mailing them as well with regards to some things that you've achieved, some things that would have been value for them, some milestones that you would have got, a mixture of things, in a way that they kind of engage with you. At the same time, they start building that trust factor with you. And that is how you generate new business. So this is basically the process that we've been following for a very long time in terms of generating new business, be it LinkedIn. Even in terms of Facebook, we are currently using a lot of messenger marketing, messenger bots, and things like that. So it's all about conversation. The new world is going towards the conversational marketing interface, and we just have to make sure that we understand that, start building the right network, and make sure that we are connecting with the right people and providing them with a lot of value and building trust. So now I've been talking a lot about content. So what is the type of content that could be an amazing content, or what are the different types of content that you can post on LinkedIn? So one is the short content, one is the long content, one is the code-based content. You can also post videos, and again, the articles that I was talking to you about. So it should be a good mixture of these things. You can't just keep posting one sort of content because you might get monotonous. So just make sure you post a lot of content. And suppose if you're taking content from somebody else or curated content, which you think is good, always make sure that you give a reference to the person who you're taking it from. So that's just that's not a must. It's just the right way to do things. So try and do that as well. So this way you can start creating a lot of engagement with your customers. And code-based contents again works really well in terms of even the quote I had about Robert Kiyosaki or the Ryan Dice. Those kind of things tend to stick in the mind. So make sure that you put a lot of code-based content as well in the middle, but not too much of any of these. Yeah. So again, with regards to, I get this question about how do you use hashtags on LinkedIn, or is hashtags really matter in LinkedIn? Yes, hashtags do matter in LinkedIn to an extent, but it's nowhere close to how it matters on platforms like Instagram, for instance. So do put hashtags, but do not put too many hashtags. Like the ideal size is about 3 to maximum say 5 hashtags. Definitely don't put 20 to 30 hashtags like what you put on Instagram. So 3 to 5 hashtags is what would be the ideal size, and it does help you to kind of get that little bit reach that you need. And always make sure that you kind of mail your LinkedIn posts or mail about your blogs, or message your, make sure your internal employees are kind of commenting on that and posting on that. Because normally how these platforms work, even LinkedIn or Insta or Facebook, it depends on the how your content is doing well for the first 1 hour is extremely important and very critical. So if you get a lot of likes and comments and everything in the first hour, then LinkedIn algorithm thinks that your post is good and it wants to serve the post to more people. And if there is no engagement, then LinkedIn thinks, okay, it's not that interesting content, so there's no point of me wasting my real estate space. So I might as well show some other content who's got more likes and comments. So that's your reach will go down. The number of people that your post reaches to will definitely go down, and it will go up if your comments and likes are heavy in the first 1 hour. And also, like, in terms of posting, make sure I do post every day, almost every day. At least I try and post every day, but you at least post 3 times per week, and preferably post during work hours. again work as, I mean, I post at different times because we cater to different geographies. We have as I said, we have a company in the UK and the US as well as India. So I do post it on different times depending on what I promote, but it's always ideal to post it on the working hours of the geography that you're targeting, and make sure that you tag relevant people. Say, for example, if you're posting about somebody, or if you have a webinar with somebody, or if you're going on LinkedIn live with somebody, just make sure you tag these people so that your reach could widen. Basically, to go to their reach as well. So in terms of, again, about what is the kind of value that you can provide a lot of ebooks, provide the ebooks that are very catered to their niche, do a lot of webinars, because especially at this time, webinars has been really successful for many people. Summits, yes, that is why we are in the summit today, because we believe that it does provide value to people. And when you keep providing value, you would achieve that, whatever I'm talking about, that network and the authority in the network and the trust factor. And podcasts are really good and picking up really well. And if you're a SaaS-based company, you can always go with free trials, or if you have a freemium product. Basically, anything that provides value, like whatever you believe that is valuable to your audience, make sure that you do that. And one more point I want to just mention here, add on here, is like, when you go and talk to a client, it's always about not about whether they understand what you're telling them. It's about whether they feel that they are understood. So it's always good to put yourself in the customer's shoes and make sure that you understand them. Like, they need to feel like, okay, this guy understands what I want. This guy knows what I want, and this guy is kind of done it before, and I think he's the right guy. So that is the kind of flow that it goes through. It's not about, okay, he understands whatever I tell, but it's a totally different game. So I understand. It's not about like, I understand whatever he tells me, but is it really going to work for me? So that's not the game here. It's about them feeling understood and them feeling like, okay, this person is perfectly understanding my business model, and I believe this person could take me to the next level. So that's something that is very important in any strategy that you do. So always basically listen to your customers and understand their services and portfolio and products before you even start creating content around them. So again, this is just a quick thing about why LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, according to a study by HubSpot, a recent study, it says like 277% more leads businesses are generating through LinkedIn compared to other platforms. LinkedIn has one of the greatest organic reach these days, because it's basically like Facebook has come down on organic. Instagram is again a different ball game. So your content reach is, LinkedIn is the channel that you want to use to go and increase your content reach organically. And it's the best platform for professional networking. It not only gives the world's biggest database, but it also gives you an opportunity to connect with them and start interacting with with that particular database, with that particular audience. And make sure that you niche down your audience before you even start any of these products. So segmentation, as marketing goes, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So just make sure you segment your audience and then target them, and then position your content around that. So this is how you basically create an automated client attraction system. So I just wanted to tell you about something. We're just launching a 21-day challenge, which is basically we're doing for customers for our audience here in this summit. And this is nothing but a 21-day program where we try and help implement systems and solutions for people who are targeting business to businesses. And we are going to use the same process and systems that we use for all of our clients, including our Fortune 500 clients. We are going to be starting this campaign on September 15th, the challenge on September 15th. And it's about like basically hand-holding you in terms of each and everything that you might need. Like, okay, now I've connected this person, but he's not replied back. How do I reach out to him? How do I mail him? How do I make this automated process? How do I kind of track these mechanisms? Okay, if my team is working on it, how do I make sure that everything is going on track, and how do I measure it? How do I create KPIs around it? How do I make sure that I keep generating leads on a consistent basis? How do I keep generating connections on a consistent basis? How do I how do I keep conversing with more people on a consistent basis? So it's all about creating that consistency and an evergreen system so that your lead generation and your business revenues keep growing, in almost in like automated mode. So we need to make sure that we want to make sure that though we don't do this normally, we've never let out our secrets to people, or we've only always done it as a done for you service. But now we want to give this to you people so that you are able to create your own systems. So we will be launching this during the summit, and I'll give you more information on this during the summit. So even if this actually works, even if you are new, if you're a startup, if you are established, because we've used the same system for people, as I said, people who are like doing multi-million-dollar businesses and people who are startups as well. So this is a system that would work, and it's all about creating the trust factor, building a network, generating the consistency, creating yourself as an authority. And I've just talked to you about LinkedIn, but there's few more platforms that we use, on an omni-channel basis to be able to, create that or create that feel for your customer. So we will be going through that. I'll give you more information as the summit goes on, and we'll also be sharing you links for the new challenge. And you guys need to please do take a look at it and let us know your thoughts. And we have a surprise for you. We're just going to give you a free LinkedIn assessment. So we have a tool that we have made, and we're just going to be sharing the links of this to all of you. And you can take your own free LinkedIn assessment. The system would automatically score you based on certain things that you have on your LinkedIn profile, and it would also kind of give you suggestions on what you need to do to kind of improve your LinkedIn profile and kind of get found in a better way. So that's about it from me today. So for this session, and thank you so much for your session. And this was a really great, engaging session, and I really look forward to seeing you. And please do, I've seen some questions here, and I'll definitely make sure that me or my team gets back to you with your answers, and look forward to seeing you for the next session. And I'll shortly be with the end note of today's sessions. And thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you.